And I'm back. Sorry for the break, but I have to be honest. I read a comment after one of my last videos last week calling XRP a fairy tale and questioning why I was encouraging other people to buy this project. And honestly, it hit me really hard. One, because I have spent so much time making sure that I, in fact, am not encouraging anyone to buy anything, but in fact, simply presenting information with the hopes that people will use this information to become informed on their own and then make their own decisions about how, when, or if they'll enter this space. And I was also hit pretty hard because some days, to be honest, it does feel like I'm cheering along a baby that doesn't grow, no matter how much food it gets, or support it gets, or new clothes it gets. It just doesn't grow. So I wanted to start by thinking about what is a fairy tale because it caught me so off guard and I got kind of tripped up with it. And when I looked through the definitions, what I found is that a fairy tale is, well, actually, I found a multiple definitions, but the one that hit me the most or like stuck out, and I think it like really in lines with what I felt when I read the comment, is a fairy tale is a fabricated story that is meant to deceive and has a basis in imagination or magic. And thinking about who I am as a person, this is the absolute last thing I am intending to do with this channel and the content that I'm creating. But I do want to ask, I guess, myself and you, what makes a story real, anyways? And in particularly focusing on blockchain, what makes a story about blockchain real? And the answer that comes up for me is actual deals, adoption, and integration. Something we have been looking over the last few weeks with every video. And we've been doing this very strongly and seeing how these deals, adoption, and integration and the news that's coming out may actually benefit or be an obstacle for XRP. And my goal is that I'm as neutral as I can be, even knowing that I am a bit biased because I do believe in this technology, but I want to come from the most unbiased perspective to offer information to see if my hypothesis is right. This is like the main goal. And the perception with crypto since I've entered this space is that for me, or what I've understood, is that the token with the highest number attached to it is the most important. And so far, I think that has mainly been centered around speculation. And take, for instance, Bitcoin. Per Bitcoin's white paper, it was created to be a way to move money peer to peer around the world without the normal blockages in our current monetary system. However, due to the exorbitant usage of energy, that use case cannot be met for daily usage by like the masses of people. And now Bitcoin itself has shifted to be speculated to be more of a store of value. And hence, the price continues to gain growth as the idea becomes true for more and more people that Bitcoin is a store of value. Now, let's contrast that with reality or progress. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin is not real, because it is real. We said it's real, so it's real. uh, but for nearly the first time ever, we are moving into an asset or a crypto technology or just a technology in general that isn't just an internet money that sits there. But this crypto has actual rails. And when I'm talking about actual rails, I mean XRP, in which money value, and data can move instantaneously around the world for fractions of a penny with no hesitations in settlement time for nearly every currency on earth. And we are just in the infancy stage of seeing institutions line up to use this technology every day. So let's do what I think has been working really well for me so far, which is looking at the news and seeing how XRP and Ripple connect to this. Today, Ripple just launched an XRP Mastercard with Gemini, which I think is huge. And what I found most interesting about this announcement is that you can now use the card anywhere Mastercard is accepted, and it uses XRP to finalize the transactions in whatever currency that you're using the card in. And this is without the need for foreign exchange or other intermediaries. And what I found super compelling is that we are now slowly being programmed, whether intentional or non-intentional, I don't care, to understand that XRP is a universal bridge currency. And what I mean is we now have a card with the Mastercard logo on it along XRP logo. This card can be used anywhere to move money instantaneously around the globe in any currency and settle transactions immediately. We're being told and taught that XRP is the way we move money. And we are also being given the opportunity for users to gain yield on their daily spending. Something we've mentioned before with staking, but it's slightly different. But now with every swipe, you have the opportunity to earn XRP back. Next, the Winklevoss brothers are backing this project alongside Ripple. The Winklevoss twins are the same guys who have fought for crypto legitimacy since Bitcoin's early days. They were even at President Trump in the United States crypto summit where he signed the executive orders pushing crypto forward not far back. And they were mentioned by the president himself for their innovation and leadership within this industry. Meaning, the political, financial, and tech worlds are converging around the same names that Ripple is partnering with. And we are still just at the beginning of seeing these partnerships being able to emerge as the court case with the SEC has recently ended. Mastercard, Ripple, Gemini, the Winklevoss twins. This isn't a bad ink deal being put into action not even 2 weeks since the close of the case, where many institutions, if not all institutions, refuse to work with Ripple or at least work with Ripple outright because of fear of punishment or any kind of injunctions or anything like this. So, here's the truth. It's been a week since I uploaded a video, partly because I was on holiday, which I actually enjoy Europe for this, and partly because I lost some of the fire. But I've realized something. Building a channel around XRP isn't about cheering along moonshots, which I'm sure it will be nice to do one day, and I hope I get the opportunity. But it's really about documenting how this thing is slowly, methodically embedding itself into the systems that we know and that are being created in front of our eyes. Brad Garlinghouse said, the CEO of Ripple, said that this is boring and slow, what we're doing in this financial world. So, maybe to some it does feel like a fairy tale right now. Even to myself, because I'm like, how are all these deals and all these new connections and new things being emerged, and yet we still see XRP dropping down lower? But the MasterCard logo that I see being accepted nearly every place I go, from the United States to Europe and beyond, that doesn't feel imaginary. It doesn't feel like magic. It feels real. The question isn't if XRP will grow, in my opinion. It's whether we have the patience to grow with it. If you're on this ride with me, please hit subscribe, because I'll be here breaking it down deal by deal, reality by reality, with some ups and downs, but I'm here. Again, none of this is financial advice. It's literally just information to unpack, to discover, to be able to use to create our own futures. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thanks so much for being here with me again. And until the next video, I'll see you next time.